cold weather nip in the air has you ready for some comfort food. This next beef recipe should be right up your alley. And with us today, we have Laura Hagan from the culinary team at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about this slow cooking recipe you've brought to us today.
Okay, well, when I get really tired of cooking, one of the best things you can possibly do is bring out this slow cooker and let it cook for you.
Okay.
The nice thing about it is that you can actually put it on in the morning, and you can put it on low, and you can actually cook for about 8 or 9 hours while you're at work. When you get home, it's ready to go.
That's perfect for a lot of families.
And also, if you want to use something like this, you can turn it up a little higher if you're on the weekend and you maybe only need 4 or 5 hours.
Gotcha.
Put it up, the temperature up a little bit, and all of a sudden you've got a great meal as well.
It's a little fancier slow cooker than we have, but I know what you're talking about.
It is. Yeah, you'll see them. They usually have a ceramic pot inside, so as you can see, little ceramic pot.
Sure.
But they're pretty much doing all the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just some of these are more counter-friendly in terms of people wanting to leave them out and that kind of thing.
Sure.
So we're doing a really cool recipe.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of Greek-inspired.
Really?
Yes. Okay. It's a Mediterranean beef, and we're actually using some mixed olives and some feta cheese.
Very
So that's
good.
kind of bringing in those Greek flavors.
Yeah.
So what we're basically doing is we're going to take our ingredients, which we'll talk about, and we're going to put them all in the crock pot, mix it up a little bit, and then we're going to put the lid on and turn it on.
That's perfect. That's easy.
That's it. So what we're going to go to first is actually our stew meat. This is actually beef for stew. So you see that.
Yeah, and you just go ahead. Do you have to trim it or
well, sometimes what you do is you'll find this, you'll find it in really large chunks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't be chunked and you actually cut it yourself.
Yeah.
Usually, try to keep a consistent size because they're all going to be cooking the same amount of time. So it's nice to have a consistent size. So we're simply going to just take this.
Yep. About how much of that?
This is actually about 2 pounds.
Okay.
And we're going to throw that right in there.
Begin with that in our slow cooker.
And a lot of times what people will do, and people have probably seen this in recipes, where you actually put a little bit of flour on your meat, and you might put it into either a pan on the stove,
kind of brown
or maybe even in your crock pot, and brown it a little bit.
Okay.
Depends on whether or not you're using a high temperature or a low temperature. And that will give it a little more caramelization, it'll give a little bit more color. This will tend to be, if we look at our final version, it'll tend to be kind of a brown, fairly brown dish, and that's why you want to utilize some really fun olive colors to bring out some color in the dish.
Very
so
good.
There's our 2 pounds of meat.
Yeah.
And then we're actually going to go to, these are simply canned tomatoes, 2 cans, 14.5 to 15 ounce cans. And basically these just have a little bit of chili, a little bit of green pepper.
Oh.
And so they just have kind of a nice little chili seasoning.
Already in them.
Already in them.
Okay.
So you don't have to doctor them up at all.
Okay.
And actually, if you wanted to change kind of the way that this this whole dish actually worked, you could actually put in like an Italian style tomato.
Oh, okay.
Maybe add a little bit of different flavor, oregano and some basil and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So we're going to put those in.
Yeah.
Dump those right in here.
Easy so far. I can run a can opener.
Really easy. Yep. See? Anyone can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what about these olives? I'm not used to putting olives in a beef dish.
Yeah, well, olives are, the nice thing about olives is that they have a really nice briny saltiness. So instead of having to put a ton of salt into your food, you're using the brine of this to actually season your food. Excellent. Now, you may take it out and decide that you want to put a little bit more salt in it to your own flavor, but what's nice is that they do have real natural flavor.
Sure.
These are actually mixed olives. So when we work with these, you're using them really for color and for flavor. These have some Kalamata olives and then some green olives. Kalamata are Greek, so of course we're sticking with our Greek kind of ingredients.
Yes, makes sense.
And I'm just going to show you, all you do, buy them pitted. So pitted, literally slice them in half.
Very good, easy.
Throw them in there.
Sure.
Super easy.
Sure.
And actually, I think I was going to put those in first.
Okay.
Get those in there.
Get those in there.
Because I want to get this going.
Absolutely.
And then we'll
Just
talk a little bit
up,
about the olives. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So that is pretty much it.
Yeah, that is super easy, isn't it? No more spice or seasoning.
Actually, we're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper, but we're talking a quarter teaspoon of pepper and about a half a teaspoon
and no
of
more
salt.
additional liquid.
Nope, that's it. You've got so much liquid in those tomatoes, and as they cook, they're going to release even more liquid. And you're also putting a lid on here, so you're getting all that condensation on top, and it's going to keep dropping down.
That's great.
So just like when you water a plant and cover a plant when you go on vacation.
Fantastic.
This I wanted to show you real quick. This is actually feta cheese.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a Greek cheese.
Okay.
It's just a very easy cheese to get at the grocery store. You can actually get it in a brick, or you can get it crumbled already, just in a little tiny, like kind of a butter container.
Yep.
And that is actually what you're going to put on top of the stew
Afterwards.
after you're done.
Okay.
Yep.
And
so we don't want to melt this. We just want to use this as
Speaking
kind of a
being
pre-accent
done, it
to
looks
the color.
like we've got a beautiful dish here. And what did you add to this as a
This
bread?
actually has some Greek bread, pita bread.
Okay.
And all we did is we threw it on the grill so that we got a little crispiness to it. And then we put it on some basmati rice, which is kind of an Indian flavor rice. It's super, super easy to grab any kind of rice that you like.
Right.
I mean, you can do brown rice if you want to stay kind of a little more healthy with the whole grain. And then we just put the stew on top and top it with the feta cheese.
Well, that is good. I'm not always a fan of olives, but I actually like that.
Yeah, I think mixed in, they kind of change a little bit. They're
That's
not
very good.
not so obvious.
And super easy, as you said.
Yes, absolutely.
For more information on this and other great, easy recipes, just visit us at cattlemen@cattlemen.org.